Is Earth a prison designed to make life suck? Guys, we're diving into the prison planet theory. In today's video, I am so excited because today we're talking about the Sikhs and one of my personal heroes, Guru Nanak. Pictured above me are Sikhs. Most people misidentify them as Muslims because they wear turbans. Guys, lots of people wear turbans. In 1469, a child was born by the name of Nanak, and an astrologer read the signs and said that he was going to be a great man. He was born in the Punjabi region, so you have India, the Punjabs, Pakistan, Afghanistan. The two most predominant religions that he grew up with are Hinduism and Islam. From a young age, he was incredibly gifted. When he was put into school, his teacher would talk about how scholastically advanced he was. You know, he learned the alphabet within a day, and not only that, when the teacher looked at the alphabet, he wrote every single letter and an attribute of how it describes God. His focus has always been on the spiritual. In fact, his teacher shortly after went to his father and said, "I have nothing more I can teach this now." This was a great learned man, this teacher, and Nanak was just a boy. He had a reputation for his wisdom in both the spiritual realm, but also the physical. Because Hinduism was so popular, there was a rigid caste system. I talked about this in some of my previous videos when I talked about Hinduism. At the top, you had the Brahmins, who are like the elite of the elite. At the bottom, you had the untouchables, like they were even worse than animals. To be seen with an untouchable, to talk with them, to even be around them was considered a mark on your own superiority. Like I said, he was known for his knowledge and his wisdom, and so there was a coming-of-age ceremony for him before he became a teenager where they wanted to bestow upon him this thread. This thread was a symbol of him being the highest of the highest Brahmin. His dad, who was an incredible businessman, invited all the family, a ton of people. They had the priest to do this whole thing, and it was going to be this massive ordeal. When the priest was getting ready to give him the thread, Nanak said, I don't want the thread. The priest was like, "What are you talking about? This is going to make you the highest of the high. You'll wear it throughout your life. It'll be a symbol of your wisdom, your holiness. It will show that you are not a member of the lower caste." And Nanak was just like, "Yeah, but when I die, where's this thread gonna go? I can't take it with me." The priest was like, "Well, what kind of thread would you like?" And Nanak said, "Meditating on God's name, that is the only true thread, because when you meditate on God's name, that is the thing that your soul can obtain, the power, the knowledge. That is the only thing you can take with you to the next life." Nanak, throughout his entire life, was a staunch opponent against ritualistic, spiritual endeavors. We'll talk a little bit about that later. So as he grew up, he continued to grow in wisdom and spirituality. One day he was bathing in a river and he was taken up to God's court. He was there for 3 days, and when he came back, he came proclaiming this, Ek Onkar. As depicted right here, it means there is one God. He is quoted saying, "There is no Hindu, there is no Muslim." Now, he's not saying that like they don't exist. To put it into modern terms, he's saying the ideas of Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, they don't exist. These are just things that humans made up. They all teach about the one true God. It's all the same thing. And he would spend the rest of his life talking about this. So this is one of the prayers that Guru Nanak gave. And honestly, for me, when I meditate, it's really hard for me to take control of my brain. And so a lot of times I have to repeat mantras at the beginning to get into the meditative state. This is probably my favorite. It's Ek Onkar Satanam Karta Purak Nirbho Niraver Akala Murat Ajuni Saban Guru Parasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach Haibi Sach Nanakosi Bi Sach. I butcher it, but it's amazing. Listen to this.
Satanam Karta Purak Nirbho Nirvair Akal Murad Ajuni Sapan Guru Parasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach
So Nanak in his adulthood would go through incredible travels taking this message. And like I said, he was incredibly well respected. The stories are seriously amazing. You guys need to dive into it. One of them that I love is he went to a Muslim mosque and he was praying. Like I said, well respected amongst Islam. And everybody was facing Mecca, right? They wanted their feet, they wanted to be facing God. He was facing the opposite direction. And so when people came to him and they said, "What are you doing? This is so respectful," he said, "Point me in the direction where God doesn't exist." Another story, they had people that were bathing in this river, throwing water over their shoulders, looking to get blessings from the gods. He was doing it in the opposite direction, opposite shoulder. They were like, this is incredibly disrespectful. What are you doing? And he was like, well, I have a farm miles away. I need to throw this so I can get the water to my farm. Everybody laughed and they're like, that's so stupid. That's so dumb. What are you doing? And then Nanak said, well, isn't that the same thing you're doing? You're throwing this water hoping that it reaches the heavens. If it's not going to reach my farm, why would it reach the heavens? Everything he taught was about connecting with the source and avoiding ritualistic behaviors. His teachings about the equality of every human being are unparalleled. Every single donation, because as he traveled around, people would donate their wealth, their money to him. Every single cent was given away to the poor to feed the hungry. We'll talk about this in the next video, but they have these systems where they give around free meals and everybody sits together, which is insane, again, when you take into account the caste system where Brahmin can't even, no one, in fact, can be shown with an untouchable, but with Nanak, everyone would eat together. Nobody was elevated. He had kings sitting with untouchables to share a meal, to listen to him. They view every single human being as God. When they feed the hungry, that is feeding God. When they help the poor, that is helping God. It is similar to Atma in Hinduism, which is the divinity that is in all of us. They see that, they view it, and they go out and try to serve. Nanak did not set out to start a religion. He did not set out to start a new path, if you will. Rather, he was just giving his teachings, and as he went around, naturally, he built a massive following. These people became known as the Sikhs. Nanak is their guru, which is just kind of like an enlightened teacher. It means from bringing from darkness to light. Once he passed away, a system of gurus were established. We'll talk about that in the next video. I cannot put enough love and respect on this man's name. I am not a Sikh, but wow, the respect and love that I have. People always ask, if you could share a meal, pick 5 people from history, who would you want at the table? He is easily one of my top. Next video, we're actually diving into the Sikh faith. What do they believe? What are their pillars? It's awesome. Check it out. I promise you, you will learn a lot.